So first off, happy National Distance Learning Week. I guess it's kind of nice to have the ELT sessions during such a week, so I decided I would throw that in there. That's November 11th through the 15th, and today just happens to be the last day. Before we get started, I did want to kind of give a little bit of an update as to how things are progressing in distance education over in ODE. As you can see, we're working on 7 graduate and 2 undergraduate programs over there, and here's a list of what we're working on. Basically, we're going through the processes, we're starting to design courses. It's really going to start to kick into high gear starting in January, but some of the courses are already starting to be created in especially the MGEL program. Also, here's where we're standing a little bit with state authorization. Basically, if you're not familiar with it, in order to offer courses for credit in other states, we need to have reciprocity with them. And so we're going through the process of being able to get basically state authorization in all 50 states. That's the goal. And we are hiring basically people to help coordinate that process. We also, as you can see with the DE funding model, it was approved by Senate Fiscal last week, and basically is going to include all existing DE programs. Please, if basically we say, if you're having questions about what you should be doing online, how do you get your courses, how do you get your programs online, if you have an idea for a program that wants to go online, please contact us. We really want to hear from you. Either way, you can, we have our website, ODE or ode.osu.edu, or contact ode@osu.edu, and either we'll get you into we'll give you the right connections that you need to make, or we'll be able to give you the correct information. We also have, the grants programs. We work with MOOC, so Henry's here who leads up the grants program. If you have any ideas for courses that you think might be appropriate for that program, please see Henry. He'll be happy to work with you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Quality Matters. I guess for a show of hands, who's heard of Quality Matters here in the room? Excellent, pretty much 99.9% of you have. So that's great. A little bit about myself first. I am an instructional designer over here in the Office of Distance Education and eLearning. I'm also a Quality Matters institutional representative. And with us is also Joni Tornwall. If you want to raise your hand. She's also a Quality Matters Master Reviewer. She's a trainer. She's an institutional representative and the manager of instructional services at the College of Nursing. So here's a little bit what we're going to talk about. What is Quality Matters? Most of you already know what it is, but we're going to talk about that anyway. We're going to go through students' perspectives, faculty's perspectives, instructional designers' perspective. Where are we going with Quality Matters? This is what we're going to be talking about today. So hold on to your hats. I know it's exciting. Quality Matters basically is a set of standards. They're nationally recognized and all research-based, and to kind of help the course design of hybrid and online courses. Now, it's my philosophy too that you can also take these principles, you can take these standards and apply them to your face-to-face course. There's a lot of ideas in here, as you can eventually hopefully look at the rubric that say, hey, I can use that in my face-to-face course. Do I introduce myself to the students on the first day? Do I have the students introduce themselves at next day? There are ideas that to help build that community, because a lot of times online, a lot of students may feel that they're kind of separated, that they're the only person in that course. And there's principles in Quality Matters to kind of help bring the students together and make it feel more like they're taking a class together. Quality Matters kind of goes by 4 different principles, and it's kind of like the 4 C's, and it's not like the 4 C's when it comes to diamonds. It's a little bit different. Basically, the idea is that they're collaborative. This is a collaborative effort. You want to make sure that you're working together. We belong to a consortium here in Ohio that's run by 4 different universities, and basically we all kind of work together to help ensure that there's quality online courses with Quality Matters. The idea is this is going to be student driven. This is going to be for the students, and we want to make sure that the students have the best possible experience when it comes to online courses. It's collegial, so it's very faculty driven, and there's a peer review process that's kind of involved with Quality Matters, with their reviews that can be done with it. But the idea that this isn't some anybody can look at it. They want to make sure that there's faculty involvement, that this is a peer review process. It's also continuous. The idea that you just don't stop. We're here in higher education, and I know I like to think of myself as a lifelong learner. You just don't stop at one point and you're done learning. The same thing goes with creating an online course. It's never fully complete. It's never fully 100%. There's always room for improvement. Now, the idea is that there is, positive feedback, but everything can always be improved. New technologies come out, so you want to make sure that you're incorporating those new technologies, but you want to make sure you're incorporating those technologies in a way that's constructive for the course. So it's always continually being improved upon. It's good for that moment, but it could be better the next moment afterwards. So it can always be improved. And lastly, it's basically they say it's centered, and basically the idea that it's very student focused again. That we're here, why are we in higher education? Is because we want to make sure that we make sure that the students that come through those doors each semester have a great experience, and we really want to make sure that we're here for them. So, kind of the advantages of using Quality Matters, I can't stress this more, it's helped to promote student learning. So the idea, again, continuous improvement. Your course is never fully done. It's always can be improved upon one way or another. Accrediting bodies will look at, what set of standards are you looking to create your online program with? Did you just decide to throw a bunch of files up there, or is there, the idea that there is a method behind it? You usually design your face-to-face course very structured. You know how you want your course to flow, so why not translate that into an online course? And so accrediting bodies are going to look at, okay, so what standards do you use in order to create your online programs? Before here, I worked at Ashland University, and we went through the process of creating a new program, and HLC came in and they wanted to know, okay, well, what standards are you using in order to ensure that your students are getting the best experience, that you are going to have quality online courses? And we're like, here's Quality Matters. We're going to be using Quality Matters. We've adopted Quality Matters, and here are the set of standards, and here's what Quality Matters is all about. And so accrediting bodies will look to see how you are designing your courses in order to create them. And basically, it also helps you as a professor. It kind of goes both ways, You figure you have all this stuff in there, you're probably going to get less questions from the students. You have all the information that you need in the syllabus. You have all the information written out in the course. This way it kind of avoids all those emails that you kind of get from the students saying, okay, well, I wasn't certain when this was due, or I didn't know this little bit of information. I wasn't certain how to contact you. I didn't know what your grading policy was. What's nice is Quality Matters kind of looks at that, and it makes it easier for you to kind of be able to design that course in such a way that students won't be asking a lot of questions, but also it's easier for them to navigate. So there are some challenges in online learning. I kind of use the idea of an online course, and this is a picture of an online course here, and I use the idea of it's kind of like a puzzle, and you want the puzzle to be all together. And a lot of times you don't have all the pieces there, and some pieces are just kind of missing out of your online course. So that's one challenge in online learning. You need to really Google this. This is kind of amazing. It's called the Swindon Magic Roundabout. And at first look at this, you're probably like, oh my goodness, how the heck do I navigate that? How do I go around? There's all these, I live in Columbus. If you've ever been in the Hilliard area, the Dublin area, there's all those roundabouts. And I know it took me a little bit to try to figure out, what do those little symbols mean? So I finally figured them out. And you look at this and it's like, oh my goodness, there's arrows going everywhere. And a lot of courses are sometimes like that. You don't know what it looks like. You don't know what the navigation looks like. And so this is another challenge. It could be all kind of messed up. At the Magic Roundabout, basically they say that there's two different lanes. There's the pro lane and then there's the novice lane. So, unless you're an expert at it, you don't really know how the heck you get around that street menu. And what we really want to try to get is we want to get that 2-lane highway over the roundabout. Another challenge is alignment. We want to make sure everything's kind of flowing in the correct direction. And everything's kind of pointing towards each other. The idea that, well, all right, I want to be able to show students how to, I don't know, how to mix chemicals together correctly in a chemistry course. I'm not going to show them a clip from Tommy Boy. So, you want to make sure what you're showing and everything is aligned in there. So you want to make sure that the alignment's correct in everything. And a couple other challenges is designing an online course is different than face-to-face. When it comes to face-to-face courses, usually you're there with the students. You see the students right in front of you. You can you have that synergy between each other to be able to feed off of each other, and you have that interactions. But how do you translate that to an online course? Because it's completely different, because the students aren't right there with you. Even in a Carmen Connect session, it's completely different than it would be face-to-face. And the idea too that just because students know social media doesn't mean that they know Carmen or they know any type of LMS that's out there. They know how to use Facebook. So they might not be, they don't usually see Carmen or Desire to Learn, as they're going through their K through 12 education. So there's some disconnect between the idea that students are going to be able to pick up on this right away, that they might need a little extra guidance on how to navigate the LMS. So what we have is we have the Quality Matters rubric, and the idea is there's a set of 41 specific standards and 8 general standards, and they're based off of national standards of best practice, instructional design practices, research, and what is nice, and it's basically used to guide the design of hybrid and online courses. And so we use this rubric to basically kind of bring together that course. We take all the standards, and now we don't have those pieces missing from our puzzle. It's all together into a nice design course.